Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys a method of refreshing your B-pillars. This is only one method that I use. There's many ways that you can do it. Like they say, there's many ways that you can skin a cat. Anyways, I'll show you guys what we're trying to accomplish. So we're going to go from this to this. Let's get started. Alright guys, so step one, we're going to be basically sanding this down. As you can see, I have some various sandpaper here as well. I have some sandpaper soaking in a bucket. We're going to go from 1500 to 2000, 2500 to 3000. Might not need all the way up to 3000, but it's good to sand it all the way up there because it'll make it a lot easier to polish that way. If you guys have more deep scratches or a really bad finish that you need to use coarser sandpaper, you can do that as well. But I do recommend going with 1500 to start, and then maybe moving up coarser if you need to. So it's good to have a spray bottle here. This is 1500 grit sandpaper. I'm going to use it on a basically sanding sponge. You could use your hand as well, but you don't want to be putting imprints into the into your piece because you are taking off material here. This is just leftover sandpaper that I've had for a while. So you just kind of go along here and sand it, sand it. So as you can see, it is getting black, so that's taking off some of that oxidized layer. It'll be good to have a paper towel. Actually, I forgot about that. Get some paper towel to wipe it down to see how your progress is from sanding, because like this, you can't see anything. And as you can see, the whole layer is coming off. So you keep sanding this until the layers, you're kind of happy with the amount that's taken off. So as you can see the sanding progress so far, you can still see that oxidized layer here. So what you really want to do is just keep sanding it until it's pretty much smooth and uniform. However, because of how the plastic is casted, you're probably never going to get away with the perfect uniform finish because I think it does have some spots here and there from polishing afterwards, but it still looks 100 times better than it's super faded out and super ugly. So I'm finished sanding with the 1500 grit. The finish that you want is a uniform faded finish. Next, you're going to basically move up to the next step, basically 2000 grit. So I'm going to go ahead and sand it all the way through to all the way up to 3000 before we get to the polishing stage. But the first step is basically to get rid of all this oxidized layer so it's a nice uniform color. You don't want to go too deep. Some areas like here still need some sanding, as you can see. I didn't hit that because there is a little curve here. So with the sponge, it doesn't really hit the contours as good. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this, and then we're going to sand it to 2000 and then moving up all the way to 3000. So it's nice and uniform now. Onto 2000 grit. If you don't have a sanding sponge, you can sand it like this as well. And then use your fingers so that it is actually even. You're not sanding any grooves in it because it's covering off the whole pillar, right? This might actually be easier. You could actually even do it in the bucket. I'm just doing it on a piece of cardboard so that you guys can see. All right, we're ready to move on to 2500 grit. Last and final tip before we kind of get to the polishing stage, you want to finish sanding the final grit one way. That's because some of the scratches will still kind of show through the plastic. Very light, minimal scratches. You can probably polish it all out, but it's sometimes best to have it all one way before you polish. All right. Now, since we're done the final sand, we're just going to clean it all off. So I'm just going to hose this off with some water, dry it, and then we're going to get right to polishing. All right, now that you have your piece all nicely sanded and uniform, it's a nice dull finish. I've done it up to a 3000 grit sandpaper. We're going to need a drill attachment, and a couple polishing pads for the drill attachment. I'm going to be using Meguiar's 105 Ultra Cutting Compound as well as Meguiar's 205 polishing compound. You could use whatever cutting compound you have or polishing compound you have. but I find these two the most effective, and it's what I have on hand because I have this from polishing the car. So I'm going to use this and basically polish this. And I'm going to be using the more aggressive pad to start. Shake up the Meguiar's 105. And then we're just going to add some onto here. We'll put this aside for now until we get to it. So just a little bit to start. Don't need a lot. And then you get your drill and spread it, and then you start polishing. And as you can see, let's just clean that off a little bit. You'll need some isopropyl alcohol to clean this later, but cleaning it off with a microfiber, as you can see the difference, 9-day difference. So the polishing is going to turn it right into this nice glossy shine. As you can see, where the divide is, this area is not polished. This is like kind of close to polish, and then the polished. It's nice and shiny. You can see a reflection off that, right? I finished the cutting stage with Meguiar's 105. Now it's time to polish it up with Meguiar's 205. All right, as you can see, this is the finish you'll achieve from polishing. Like, it's all good now, right? It's nice and shiny. It's like brand new. So after polishing, what I would do is I would add a layer of wax or something like that. It's best to maybe ceramic coat it or something like that, but you know, use what you have. I'm just gonna put a layer of wax on it to keep it protected. And that's basically it. Let's just add some wax and I'll show you guys. I don't have any other wax but this generic turtle wax, but this works too. Just apply a layer on it, wait for it to harden, and then we can wipe it off with the microfiber. I would usually apply this using a sponge, but a paper towel works. And I wait for the wax to harden, and then it's done. We'll just wipe it off and we're good. All right, now I'm gonna put in the new shined up polished ones that I have right here. As you can see, the difference is like night and day. So in order for you to install these, it's quite straightforward. It's just 2 screws here and then you pop it off. This will be similar to the US 8889, but the 1990 and 91 US ones are a little different, I think, because of the door mounted seatbelts. But since this is Canadian spec, we don't have that. And so it's just basically these 2 screws and then try to slide this out. It is a little bit difficult to do because it is hooked on there good, but we're just going to replace both sides and then we're going to see how it looks. All right, check it out. It's in nice and clean and polished. It's so shiny. Looks pretty good. Doesn't really match this one. So maybe in the future I'll polish that one up as well. But that looks really good. All right, this is the passenger side. The left one obviously is the polished. The right one is not so polished. As you can see, looks pretty good. Might polish the right side later on. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. I hope this helps you guys out. If you haven't already, please comment, like, and subscribe, and share my videos. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.